Good morning, dear children. In my previous class, I have started the first chapter of chemistry. And what was the name of the chapter? Matter and its composition. And there we have seen some topics like what is matter? Matter is anything that has mass and occupies space. Then we have seen the difference between mass and weight. They are two different quantities. Then volume, some activities and composition of matter. What the matter is composed of? Matter is made up of pure substance. Pure substance means it contains only same kinds of atoms. Now, today we will see the elements, about atoms, compounds, their properties and other topics. For now, our first topic for today's class is element. So, before starting what is element, let me tell you about what is atom. What does atom form when they combine? So, atom has been derived from a Greek word. Okay, and this was proposed by a Greek philosopher, Democritus. So, atom is derived from a Greek word, atomus. This atomus is a Greek word and it was proposed by a Greek philosopher named Democritus. Okay, and the meaning of this atomus is cannot be divided. That means you cannot divide the atom. You cannot divide the atom, you cannot split the atom into two parts. If this chalk is also a matter, it is also made up of tiny particles, that is atoms. And if I am thinking I will break this atom, if I will break this chalk into pieces and I will break the atom, then I am wrong. I cannot break the atom. I will break this chalk into pieces, small pieces, tiny pieces. But I cannot break the atom because even the small piece, the tiniest piece of the chalk is also made up of tiny particles. So we cannot divide the atom. Atom is indivisible. Okay, we cannot divide the atoms. We cannot split the atoms into two parts. Now after atoms, let's see the element. Now what I said that matter is made up of tiniest particle atom. So when a substance, when a matter is made up of same kind of atoms, when there will be similar kinds of atoms, like in gold, there will be only gold atoms. In silver, there will be only silver atoms. In coal, there will be only coal atoms or not. So when a substance is made up of similar kinds of atoms, is called an element. So what is an element? An element is a pure substance which cannot be broken down into simpler substance by any physical or chemical means. And you cannot break this atom into simpler substance. You cannot break into simpler substance by any physical or chemical means. Whatever you do, you heat it, you break it, you crush it, you melt it, you do other chemical process also, but you cannot break this element into the simpler substance. So what is this element? What I said, when the substance is made up of similar kinds of atom, there will be only similar kinds of atom. What I said, like in gold, there will be only gold atoms. In silver, there will be only silver atoms. So whatever the element will be, so whatever the substance it will be, whatever the metal it will be, if it is made up of same kinds of, so whatever the substance it will be, if it is made up of same kinds of atoms, that means it is an element. So let's see the definition of an element. An element is a substance that cannot be broken down into simpler substance by physical or chemical means. So understood now what is this element? I said you about first atom. Atom is the smallest unit of matter. Okay, and when the substance is made up of same kinds of atom, that is called an element and you cannot break this element. Now, so far to us known elements are 118 elements are known so far. Okay, now these elements are also classified into metals and non-metals. Now in metals category will come aluminum, gold, silver and all etc. So many are there. And in the categories of non-metal will come oxygen, nitrogen, carbon, so many are there. So now we can say that element is made up of tiny particle, that is atom. Now atoms of elements are of same kind. So now atoms of element are of all same type. like a substance contains an atom. I said that gold will contain only gold atoms. So the two atoms of gold will be same. The properties, everything will be same. But if I will take one silver atom and one gold atom, will their properties and everything will be same? No, they will differ. They will differ because they are atoms of the different element. Silver atom is of silver element and gold is of gold element. So the two atoms will differ from one another. For example, if you take two atoms of oxygen, they will be same. But if you take one atom of sulfur and one atom of oxygen, they will be not same. They will be not same. So now you have understood about elements, about atoms and all. So now let's see what is this molecules. When the two atoms of certain elements, they combine together to form a larger particles are called molecules. Now see here, when the two atoms, this is hydrogen atom, this is hydrogen atom, this is hydrogen atom. When the two hydrogen atoms, this is one atom, this is other atom. Together this is two hydrogen atoms. I have mentioned here what it is. It is hydrogen atom. So this is also hydrogen atom. So when the two hydrogen atoms combine together to form a larger particles are called molecules. So it has combined to form. So now this is hydrogen. So when the two hydrogen atoms combine together, they form hydrogen molecule. So this is hydrogen molecule. So now our concept of molecule is also clear. Okay. Now let's see what happened when 8 atoms of sulfur combine together. So when 8 atoms of sulfur combine together, they form a ring. They will form a ring, and that when they combine together, they also form a molecule, that is sulfur molecule. So when the 8 atoms of sulfur combine together, they will form a ring, and this is sulfur molecule. But some atoms of element, they don't have ability to combine. Okay, they don't have ability to combine. So what happened? They remain as a single atom, like helium, argon, krypton and all. Their atoms, they do not have ability to combine and form a molecule. That is why they remain as a single atom. Now let's see our next topic, that is compound. Now what is this compound? We have seen what is it. We have seen what is element. We have seen about atoms, about molecules and all. Now let's see what is this compound. So compound is a substance. It is formed when two or more elements combine chemically in a fixed proportion. That means compound is a substance when two or more elements, we know what is elements? Elements are made up of same kinds of atom. Elements are the pure substance. So compound is also a pure substance. Okay. So compound is a substance and it is formed when two or more elements, when they combine together in a fixed proportion. Fixed proportion means there should be a fixed atomic ratio, and they combine chemically to form a compound. Okay. So now let's see the definition of compound. What is compound? A compound is a substance that is formed when two or more elements combine chemically in a fixed proportion. Now for example, you drink water. Every day you drink water, and everyone needs water to survive, to live. Now what is this water? Water is nothing but water is a compound. What is water? Water is a compound. Now how water is a compound? Because it is formed, because our water is formed up of two elements. When the two elements combine together, they have formed compound, that is water. Water is a compound. Now see here, what is the formula of water? H2O. This is the formula of water, H2O. And in my definition I have said that compound is formed when two or more elements combine. So where is the element? So element is here only. See, this is hydrogen oxygen. H means hydrogen, O means oxygen. So when the two element, this hydrogen is one element because in the hydrogen there are only hydrogen atoms are there, that means this is one element, and in oxygen there are only oxygen atom will be there. So when two elements combine together, they form a water molecule, and this is a compound. What it is? It is a compound. Now let's see here. When H2 means there is two atoms of hydrogen. When combines with O, see there nothing is there, that means one atom of oxygen is there. So this is one element, this is other element. When they combine together, they form H2O, and this is a compound, and this is a water molecule. This is a water molecule, H2O. When the two elements combine together, they form a compound. Okay, and this water molecule consists of two atoms of hydrogen. How many atoms are there? H2 means two atoms of hydrogen, and there is nothing means one atom of oxygen is there. And I have also said that combine in a fixed proportion. So what is their fixed atomic ratio? They are combined in a fixed atomic ratio. What is the ratio? Now see here, H2, that means two atoms of hydrogen is there, two atoms of hydrogen and one atoms of oxygen. So this is the fixed atomic ratio of water. So understood the example? Water is a compound. So when the two elements combine together, they form a water molecule, that is a compound. And what is the fixed atomic ratio? 2:1. There are other examples of compound like carbon dioxide, sugar, salt, and all are the example of compound. Now let's see the showing this in the form of that like H2 and all. Now I'll show you in the form of diagram. Okay, in the form of diagram I will show you the formation of water molecules. This is the diagrammatic representation of formation of two water molecules. One water molecules and this is the other water molecules. Now see here, this is the diagrammatic representation of formation of two water molecules. Okay, now we will see in the form of diagram how these water molecules are formed. Now see here, this is hydrogen molecule. This is one molecule of hydrogen, this is the other molecule of hydrogen. When the two atoms combine together, what they will form? They will form a molecule. There also when the two atoms combine together, they will form a molecule. So that is why it is hydrogen molecules. There are two hydrogen molecules and there it is oxygen molecule. The two atoms of oxygen is combined together to form oxygen molecule. Now this will form when this hydrogen molecule will combine with one atom of oxygen. What it will form? It will form water molecule, one water molecule. So this hydrogen molecule will combine with one atom of this oxygen and form one water molecule. Okay, can you see? 2H is there, that means H2, and one O is there, that means H2O. Now this hydrogen molecule will combine with this atom of oxygen and they will form the other water molecule, H2O. This was the formation of water molecule in the form of diagram, as shown in the form of diagram. So this molecule, the hydrogen molecule, has combined with one atom of oxygen to form the water molecule. That is, can you see that two hydrogen is there? And what is the formula of water? H2O. H2O. So you can see that two hydrogen atom is there and one oxygen atom is there. So here it is two water molecules are there. Two water molecules. One water molecule and this is the other water molecule. So this was the formation of two water molecules in the form of diagram. Now let's see the other example also of carbon dioxide. Okay. Now what is the formula of carbon dioxide? CO2. Now we will see in the form of diagram of carbon dioxide also the formation of carbon dioxide. This is the diagrammatic representation of formation of four carbon dioxide molecules. This is one molecule, 2, 3, 4. So now let's see how it is formed with 4 carbon atoms and the oxygen molecules. Now what is the formula of carbon dioxide? The formula of carbon dioxide is CO2. What is the formula of carbon dioxide? CO2, and carbon dioxide is what? Compound. It is a compound. Now, how many carbon atoms are there? One carbon atom, and O2 means two oxygen atom. So when this one element, that is carbon, will combine with the other element, that is oxygen, what they form? They form carbon dioxide. They form carbon dioxide. And what is the fixed atomic ratio of this carbon dioxide? It's very easy now. How much? Nothing is there, that means 1 is there. That means 1 carbon atom is there. That means 1 fixed atomic ratio will be 1. And how many oxygen atom is there? 2. So 1:2 is the fixed atomic ratio of this carbon dioxide. So this carbon dioxide is a compound. When the two elements combine together, they form a compound in a fixed proportion. They should combine in a fixed proportion. Okay, that is why this is the fixed ratio of carbon dioxide, that is 1:2. Now let's see the diagrammatic representation. There are 4 carbon atoms, 1, 2, 3, 4. And there are 4 oxygen molecules. This is 1 oxygen molecule, other 2, 3, 4. 4 oxygen molecules are there. Now let's see how they will combine. This 1 carbon atom will combine with 1 oxygen molecule. How many carbon is there? Carbon atom is there? 1. So 1 carbon atom, and how many oxygen atom is there? 2. That means when the 2 atoms, they have combined together, they have formed a molecule. So when this 1 carbon atom will combine with 1 oxygen molecule, they will form carbon dioxide molecule, that is a compound. So see here, one carbon atom is there and 2 oxygen atom is there. Similarly, the other carbon atom will combine with the other oxygen molecules and they will form the carbon dioxide molecules. So that is why there are 4 carbon atoms. So these 4 carbon atoms will combine with the other molecules and they will form the carbon dioxide. They will form the carbon dioxide. Can you see the 1 carbon atom is there and 2 oxygen atom is there. And what it has formed? It has formed carbon dioxide molecule. There are 4 carbon dioxide molecules. 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 4 carbon dioxide molecules. Formation of 4 carbon dioxide molecule. How many carbon dioxide is there? 1, 2, 3, 4. How many oxygen molecules were there? 1, 2, 3, 4 and 4 carbon atoms were there. So 1 carbon atoms combined with 1 oxygen molecules and they have formed the carbon dioxide molecule, that is a compound. See here, 1 carbon atom and 2 oxygen atom, that is CO2. So this was the presentation of carbon dioxide in the form of diagram. Now this compound property and the element property of what it is mean are different. Like you take the example of water. Water is a compound, I said. So before formation of this compound, there were 2 different elements, hydrogen and oxygen. So when this hydrogen and oxygen, when they combine together, they have formed a compound, that is H2O, that is a water molecule. Okay, so after becoming compound, their property is different, and what they were before becoming compound is different. That means before they were elements. When they have combined, they have formed the compound. Before as an element, what was the property of oxygen? Oxygen is a supporter of burning. You know, no? Oxygen is a supporter of burning. If oxygen will be not there, burning will be not there. And oxygen, anything burns with the support of oxygen. And now let's see what is the property of hydrogen as an element. Hydrogen is combustible. It burns readily. It burns. Hydrogen burns. And oxygen is a supporter of burning. Now when they combine together, when these 2 elements combine together, they have formed a compound, that is H2O. And H2O is a water. And you know that water is not supporter of burning. When something is burning, when you put the water on it, what happened? The flame cut off. So are you understanding? The elements property before they have formed the compound and after the formation of compound, their properties are different. Their properties are different. Before, oxygen was the supporter of burning and hydrogen is combustible and it burns readily. but when they combine together, they have formed a compound, that is water, H2O, and water is not supporter of burning, rather they cut off the burning. So the compound properties from their constituent elements are different. Okay, so the property of compound differ from their constituent element. Before, what the property was there will be different when it will form a compound, totally different. You have seen, I have shown the example of water. Okay, now the elements in the compound present in a compound cannot be separated by any physical means. It can be separated by a chemical method. Now let's see, our next topic is forces that keep constituents of matter together. Know that there are three states of matter. Matter exists in three states: solid, liquid and gas. But here two more states is given, that is plasma state and Bose-Einstein state, that is BEC. Now this plasma state will exist at very high temperature and BEC will exist at very low temperature. But here we will not discuss about this two states, we will just discuss about the three states, that is solid, liquid and gas. Now, our first state of matter is solid. And you know that solid has definite shape, it has definite volume and it retains its shape until and unless you do not crush it, you do not break it, you do not squeeze. That means it will retain its shape, means it will not change its shape until and unless any external force is acted on it, like if you do not break it, if you do not squeeze it, if you do not crush it, if you do not melt it, it will not change its shape. It will remain in its own shape. Now what are the example of solid? You can take book, pencil, table, chair, whatever you can take example of solid. Okay. Now let's see the other state of matter, that is liquid. Liquid, it have definite volume but it do not have definite shape. Now if you will take 1 liter of milk and all, whatever you take the quantity, like 1 liter you are taking the milk, that is the volume, you are taking 1 liter of milk, okay, and you are transferring from one container or one vessel to another. The vessel shapes are different. So you will see that the milk will take the shape of the different kinds of vessels, the shapes of that vessels, but the volume will not change. The shape will change but the volume will not change. Now for example, you can take the example of liquid like water, milk, juice, oil and all are the example of liquid. Now our third state of matter is gas, and in gas they do not have definite shape, they do not have definite volume. You cannot see this gas with your naked eyes, like air and all are also mixture of gases, oxygen and all, you cannot see with your naked eyes. They do not have definite shape, they do not have definite volume. We will learn in detail about solid, liquid and gas in our next topic, that why solid has definite shape, definite volume, why liquid have definite volume but not definite shape, why gases do not have both definite shape and definite volume. They do not have both, no. Gases do not have definite shape and they do not have definite volume. We will learn in detail after covering this topic. We will see in detail in the other topic about the interparticle force of attraction, space, interparticle space and all. We will learn in the other topic. Now let's see the example of gas. Example of gases, you can take oxygen, nitrogen and hydrogen and all. So many gases are there. You can take any other example of the gases. So these were the three states of matter: solid, liquid and gas. Now there is two activity. Now let's see what is this activity. First activity is, the aim is to show that air occupies space. Now this I have made a small packet of balloon and there are some balloons, okay. So what you will do, you will take one balloon out of this packet, okay, and what you will do, you will blow the air inside this balloon. When you blow the air, what you will see, the balloon has inflated and you will tie with the thread so that the air will not escape. What I said, you will take one balloon out of this packet and you will blow the air in the balloon. Now after tying with the thread and all, what you will do, you try to put this balloon again inside this packet. Can you put? Can you put this inflated balloon again in this packet? No, you cannot put, because you have seen after blowing the air, what you have seen, the size of the balloon has increased. The air which you have blown inside this balloon has occupied some space. That is why the size of the balloon has increased. So the conclusion is that we cannot put this balloon back in this packet because air has occupied space in this balloon and the size of the balloon has increased. So this was the activity, and the aim was to show that air occupies space, and we have shown that air has occupied space. It cannot be put back into this packet of balloon because its size has increased and air has occupied space inside this.